Hi, good morning. I want to thank everyone for being here. This has been something that has been hard to keep private. It's been a process that's been very difficult. I really wanted to take this time to publicly thank all the support that the family has received. We couldn't have made it through the trial without Crime Victim Services from Pearland, Crime Victim Services from Brazoria County, various police agencies that were there showing support, DPS, HPD, our Pearland officers that were there backing us up emotionally, other different crime victim advocates such as Christus Caring Angels, Mothers Against Drunk Driving, Concerns of Police Survivors, TMPA, 100 Club of Brazoria, of Houston, and of Pearland. And I would also like to thank the jury for taking so much time out of their life and listening to everything that happened in this case. I would like to thank the judge for being patient, and especially the prosecutors and everybody that worked so hard on the case. Ms. Jerry Yenny worked tirelessly. She worked so diligently. The whole family was overwhelmed at just how much dedication and passion she put into this case. And everybody that worked with her, Mary and Ian, we're incredibly grateful for all of the community support, all of the citizens that reached out to the family, that sent letters, prayers, and I think that we definitely wouldn't have been able, Indy's mother, the family and myself, would not have been able to be as strong as we were during that time without having so many people being there for us. I would also like to take this time to remind the public that driving while intoxicated, drunk driving, driving under the influence, any type of impaired driving is, well, I should say not impaired, but driving drunk is 100% preventable. There are people that very much want to go home to their families. There are people that should be here today that are not here because of choices that other people have made, and those are selfish choices. If somebody is not okay to drive, and if you notice, please help. If you are not okay to drive, and if you have some type of mindset to realize that, please stop. I wouldn't be here today if somebody had made better choices in their life. I don't respect those choices. I understand everybody makes mistakes. But I would like to, again, please implore. I have a 3-year-old at home that is never going to know what having a father is like because a drunk driver took his life. Indy was such a dedicated father, such a loving father, such a good provider. It's not fair what happened. He had a lot to live for. Right now, he would be working on a PhD program. He would be continuing to take care of our child, taking care of my household, making sure that I'm okay, making me feel protected and secure. And now I'm having to do all those things for myself, by myself. It's very tough when my son gets confused about what the concept of a father is, when he goes up to other men trying to call them dad because he sees that other children are calling adult males and those father figures dad, daddy. It's very tough at home when he looks at pictures of his father and tells me, Mommy, I want him. That's a very tough thing to have to live with. I understand what happened. I still haven't fully processed. I feel like Indy is still here with me. I let his I let our son know that daddy's taking care of us, that daddy's in heaven, but that's not something that he can fully comprehend. So for all the children that are home, that are expecting their parents home, for all the parents that are wanting to see their children succeed in life, for every person in general that has something to live for, please be more considerate of the choices that you make. They impact in ways that you could not imagine. The consequences are something that are hard to measure. There's nothing that could ever bring Andy back. I'm still a very angry person on the inside, and I really dislike that. But I'm trying my best to stay afloat, to have some sort of composure, to keep my life for my son. If I did not have my son, I honestly would feel like I have nothing to live for, because that is what this has caused in my life. Is a total disruption. Andy and I had built a life together. We were very proud of each other, that we were both educated individuals, that we both had reputable jobs, that we both had plans, goals, dreams, aspirations. We wanted a little girl. So what this has done in reality is more than could be measured. I've lost my future children. I've lost my future experiences with somebody that I love so much that there's no way of fully expressing just how much pain this has cost the family. Especially his mother. I commend her. She is such a strong and dedicated woman. On the weekends, while trial was breaking, she would go back to New York and still continue working, still continue seeing patients. Sometimes even patients that were in accidents that were actually drunk drivers themselves. And that takes a lot. She's very strong. She's a better person than I am. Her heart is very forgiving, but I'm not as strong. I have a lot of negative feelings towards the person that did this in general. I don't respect that person's life choices, but I've accepted what happened, and I'm hoping that there's something positive that comes out of it. I've come to know so many great people that are so highly involved with the community, that do so many great things that I would have otherwise not met or had any interactions with. I'm grateful for that. At the same time, I've said it before, I would gladly give up knowing and feeling all of those great and positive things to have him back, but I just can't. And at this time, if you guys have any questions, I would be taking a few.
Lucy, the 32-year sentence given to Amber Williamson, in your estimation, is that enough? How do you come to terms with that?
I haven't come to terms with it in the sense that I feel like I'm still processing. I know the family is not, does not have a strong feeling of being upset by the sentence. I think in this time, and because it's so fresh, we're still kind of in the same boat, just kind of processing it. I know, and it was explained to us, that this is over twice the normal sentence that would have been given in an intoxicated manslaughter, because we had the aggravated weapon charge that guarantees that there will be at least, now 15 because it's already been a year, at least 15 years served fully in prison. That gives us a relief that for at least 16 years, somebody is going to be off the streets that would otherwise be a danger to society, that was living a very reckless life, and had no real excuse, from what I know, not to be living a good a good life and making good choices. So we would like to really thank the jury for the hard work that they put in. I'm not angry. I'm more neutral to it right now, but at the very least, 16 years behind prison is more than being free.
Lucy, I'm so sorry for your loss. Sophia with KPRC Channel 2 News. When it comes to this situation, and I know you kind of explained it earlier, just what is the overall message from such a tragedy that you want the community to really harbor in on when it comes to making the right choice before getting behind the wheel?
It's preventable. I understand, and I've worked with juveniles for 4.5 years in the capacity of the Harris County Juvenile Probation Department. And some kids make really bad choices, and they're learning, and they make mistakes. But to see, and I hear oftentimes when we're talking about these drunk driving accidents, the drivers themselves walk away unharmed, and they're older people. And so really for adults, there's no excuse. I understand people go out, have fun, maybe have parties. It's very important that I think people have these conversations and pay attention and just kind of look into the lifestyles or the aftermath of lives of victims from these offenses. I mean, my life is never going to be the same. I can't laugh or smile without feeling guilty that the man that I love is not here to enjoy the life that he's so hard worked for. There was tireless, endless nights of just planning a future that he's no longer a part of because of somebody else's selfish choices. And that's truly what they are. You're out, you're having fun, you're enjoying life or whatever it is, and you're not thinking about how something that you do is going to affect somebody else. And I think as long as people are more conscious about it, especially seeing, and I hate to bring up my son, but yeah, you know, I'm a 3-year-old at home and I don't know what to tell him sometimes. I really don't. And when he starts asking more questions about his father, I'm going to have to tell him that a drunk driver killed him. Those are very hard words to have to say, and I don't know how he's going to process it. But I already know it's going to be painful growing up. He may not feel the pain right away, but I know as he sees other children at school, other children at play, other children going through their life, he's going to feel the absence of a father. Absolutely. Nobody is ever going to take Andy's place. Nobody could. And I don't want that. I want him to always know exactly who his father was. I'm so proud of everything and all of his accomplishments. But I'm devastated that a drunk driver took all that away from us, from the family. So I would just really like to hope that this message reaches somebody at some point in time, maybe at 3 in the morning, 2 in the morning as the bar is closing. Maybe just have some sort of recollection of this. And I hope that it impacts them in a way that they think twice about it.
Lucy, you're surrounded by Indy's photos, uniform over there. A lot of things go on in households that are kind of routine, that become things you maybe miss or sorry you can't do again. What are some of those things you miss most about Indy, just being at home with you?
The incredible sense of protection. This man was always taking care of the household, always making sure that we were safe. It's hard. It's hard. Even simple things like taking out the trash, taking out the recycle, carrying heavy things, washing the cars. I mean, those are things that people take for granted sometimes, but there's so much that he did in our everyday life that I don't have anymore. It's tough. We had bought our house in December of 2015. Our house was largely unfurnished. We were excited, but you know, our bedroom set wasn't even put together at the time of the accident. So all those little things, having to hang up, having to decorate, having to make decisions about colors on the walls, all those are things that would have otherwise been enjoyable for a couple to start building their life and decorating and just, you know, putting their house together. And I had to do that with the most painful memories and the most painful thoughts, especially when I've received awards or letters or things like that, that I have the office dedicated to him, but he's not there. There's so many pictures of him in that office. So sometimes it's tough walking in. And sometimes I sit there and I just talk to him. But it's way too many things. But definitely the sense of knowing that somebody's got my back. That I have somebody there that I can lean on. Even though a lot of people offer support and help, I don't like to ask for help. So anytime that we had issues, we would resolve them amongst each other. So that was my rock. That was the person that I would go to if I was upset, if I was sad, if I was angry. And so it's hard to even vent sometimes.
Lucy, can you talk about the moment in court when you read your victim impact statement, please? Did you feel like the defendant gave you any sense of remorse then, or do you feel like she is remorseful at all now, knowing what you know? And if you didn't see that from her, how do you wrap your mind around that?
It's tough. I would say yes and no. Going through that trial, I don't think that she could have not felt guilty. There were so many things, and so many things that came to light. And I know she even, when she got on the stand, she said she's heard testimony after testimony or evidence after evidence of her being a horrible person. I have very strong feelings against her, and I don't know if maybe that prevented me from seeing genuine remorse. I did notice some tears, but I don't think she's ever going to get exactly what she did. The fact that she asked for probation to me was an insult, because I would have probably respected her more had she asked for a 10-year sentence in prison. I kind of lost that respect, or didn't lose it, because I feel like I've never respected her, but I just lost any type of feeling of even empathy for her when she asked for probation. Probation was given, I would be very angry, to say the least.
Did you feel like she was responsive to you when you were reading your statement?
Yes, she looked me in the eye. When I looked her in the eye, it was kind of hard because I was pretty much in her face at some point. I was very close to her. I handed her some photographs of my son's second birthday, which was the last birthday that Indy and him spent together. And they'll never have that again. And so it probably hit her because she has children also.
Lucy, I know you said earlier you feel neutral. Do you think you'll ever be able to get closure, given that the trial is finished and that you can move on? Do you think that'll ever be something you can get to?
No, not at this point. I don't feel like that. 32 years doesn't bring Indy back. 32 years doesn't take an inch away from the pain that has been endured by the family, by myself. 32 years certainly is not something that we consider closure. I think going through the trial was even more painful because it's not like a normal accident, or not that there's anything normal about accidents, but sometimes accidents happen. And it's done, it's there, the accident happened at that point in time. We had to relive the accident all over again. We had to watch ME reports, hear descriptions of the injuries. We sat there watching Indy be put on the stand, Indy be put on trial, and the accident blamed on him. And that was such a painful thing to do, and that was, I know there had to be a defense, but that was a very tasteless defense. So that brought a lot of feelings, anger, frustration. Pain was definitely big there. I couldn't help but to cry sometimes, and I saw Indy's mother cry. It's tough. I think the 32 years is a start to putting the case behind us, but that doesn't take away anything. We were there for almost the final seconds of his life. I don't know the exact seconds, but that was very tough to sit through.
Thank you, Lucy.
Thank you.